So, as I record this, it is still the day before for all my American subscribers. For those of us in Australia, it is the morning before. So, I will be checking online at about 11 o'clock tonight. Hopefully, there will be a live stream with the beginning of the pretrial hearing. Of course, that is still up in the air a little bit because, as I mentioned in a video last week, there is a joint motion to continue that was filed on the 26th. Now, I don't know if it's been intentionally held due to a request from prosecution or defence or something, or if it's just a case that the clerk at the courthouse is just really, really slack. Now, if you've noticed a change in audio quality, I've just switched over to my recording app as opposed to my video editing app, because since this is mostly just me talking, I don't want to do a long spiel and then click on the off button and discover that it hasn't recorded, which is a problem that I'm having with InShot at the moment. So if anybody can suggest a good quality video editing app that is as good as InShot, if not better, that is going to work well on iOS devices, please let me know. I will eventually be switching to working on an Adobe app, but that's reliant on me updating my clunky laptop to a decent quality MacBook, which will also then allow me to live stream trials. That is my goal before the second trial, to basically save up and buy myself a MacBook, which will just improve my ability to put content out. It'll allow me to occasionally do some live streams, of course, and when it comes to trials, I will be able to stream them for you, so you'll be able to watch them here. Now, in terms of today's proceedings, I know that at this point in time, allegedly speculating, is that the right name for her channel? I'm so sorry. She has got a live stream listed for the afternoon session. I have actually put a message in there asking if she will be also live streaming the 9 o'clock session. Hopefully she will be doing that, and I will provide a link for her channel in the description section for this video, so that if you wanted to hop over to her live stream, then you can do, and that's where we'll be able to find out what's going on with these pretrial proceedings. Now, going back to that motion that was filed last week, the motion to continue. We've got no idea, like I said, we've got no idea what's in that motion to continue. It's interesting that it comes from both sides, which, on one hand, you would think that would mean that it probably will be passed. But the thing is, Judge Carson made it pretty damn clear at the last hearing that he wasn't in favour of any further continuances. And in fact, he pretty much gave the defence a boot up the arse for requesting any additional time. So it is possible that the continuance won't actually be granted, and that we will see all the pretrial proceedings begin today. Now, the other thing we're waiting on is the judge's decision on the phone data and the Google data. So we know that there was a motion filed to have all that thrown out because they believed that it was basically obtained illegally. We listened to the hearing. My opinion is that it really wasn't obtained illegally. they had permission given voluntarily, intelligently, and knowingly. So, to me, that says it was not illegal. And of course, there is the objective reasonableness of it. Basically, you've handed your phone to someone and you've unlocked your phone. Any reasonable person is going to expect that they may continue to look at other things within your phone. And of course, they had probable cause. He lied to them flat out. He reset his phone twice. And they had exigent circumstances. At that point in time, they didn't know where Maddie was. They didn't know if Maddie was alive somewhere. But he was the main suspect because of his lies, because he was the last person to see her, and because he had been alone with her in a room the night before she went missing. There was, of course, also a high probability of him destroying evidence. They knew that because they knew he had factory reset his phone. So had they handed back his phone, that would have given him an opportunity to destroy evidence, and I would imagine that he probably would have done so. So they were able to take his phone, they were able to put it in airplane mode, meaning that any data that was on that phone could not be deleted remotely. And then they were able to extract data from that phone. Had they not done so, had they handed back his phone and he'd gone and deleted evidence, they'd all be losing their jobs. So all those things together suggest that he doesn't have a leg to stand on, basically. And given that Judge Carson is a pretty thorough judge, I would imagine that that will probably be one of the first things that is discussed in today's hearing. And then, of course, there's the Google evidence, the fruit of the poison tree. But it isn't. And that's something that was made quite clear by the prosecution. Basically, the claim being made by defence is that anything obtained via the Google warrant is illegal because the Google warrant eventuates from the illegal seizure of the phone. The problem with that is that the Google warrant was actually signed off on by a judge. So unless the law enforcement individuals behind the affidavits that were made, or the single affidavit that was made for that application for the warrant, unless they lied in the application, then basically it comes down to the judge. The judge clearly found it based in law. The judge had no issues with the application and therefore granted the warrant. So it actually has nothing to do with the phone seizure being illegal or not, because a judge made a decision on that warrant and made the decision that it was justified, and basically I have no idea what the pup was growling about just then. He made the decision that the warrant was justified, at which point in time any attacks on the warrant is actually considered an attack on the decision made by the judge. And unless there was something illegal in the way that the judge made that decision, then that decision will stand. It is quite clearly outlined in statute in Florida law, in federal law, that it is frowned upon for a judge to challenge another judge's decision without good reason, without due cause. Because you can imagine the chaos that would occur if judges were allowed to just overrule each other's decisions left, right and centre. So the chances of that warrant being declared illegal are incredibly slim, particularly given that Judge Carson is very much aware of laws. As I've mentioned previously, he works as, or did work, I can't remember now, as a professor, and his specialty was in case law. So he understands full well the ins and outs of that Google warrant. He will understand that unless the judge did something untoward in the process of making his decision, then that is pretty much unchallengeable. Unless law enforcement lied in their application for the warrant is pretty much unchallengeable. So that means that even if Judge Carson turns around and says, okay, I'm going to rule on the seizure of the phone and say that was illegal, although I doubt very much that he would, the chances of him also ruling on the Google evidence are pretty slim. Meaning that even if it means that some charges may go out the window because maybe there's images that were only on the phone and not in the Google Drive, they still have a rock-solid case. I really don't feel that we need to be concerned about these motions, about the Google data or about the phones. I think they are well and truly backed up by statute, precedent, by, every corner of the law, basically. Now, I can't comment on the continuance, as I said. My only thought on that is that if Judge Carson does allow a continuance, you can bet that it's going to be a short continuance. He's made it pretty clear that this is going to go to trial, and this is going to go to trial pretty damn soon. So I think while we probably need to brace ourselves for the possibility of a continuance, I think we can reassure ourselves that if it does occur, that it's not going to be a lengthy continuance. I would doubt that it would be anything more than a month, and I would imagine that even that would be something that Judge Carson wouldn't be too enthused over. Of course, it depends what is in this motion for the continuance. Maybe there is some significant reason, and Judge Carson will go, well, heck yeah, we need a continuance because of this. Something new that's popped up. But since we can't see the motion, we don't know. We're going in this blind. So I think they're the key things we need to think of prior to today's proceedings. It will be very interesting to see how things go. I will, of course, be over in the live stream for allegedly speculating, watching what's going on, provided that it is streamed. I'd imagine it is streamed. If she doesn't do the morning session, then I will probably be maybe in the docket if he streams it. If not, I'll be somewhere. I will be finding it somewhere. Like I said, unfortunately, I can't stream it myself. I will definitely be putting money aside so I can invest in a MacBook before the next trial, but for now I'm limited to working on an iPad, and I can't do streaming of trials on my iPad. Now, I will of course be doing a replay with a recap, but as you may be aware, the afternoon session that will be occurring at 1:30 Florida time is 3:30 a.m. here in Australia. So it won't be immediately after proceedings finish. It will probably be coming at the usual time that I drop my content. It will be something that when I finally crawl out of bed after watching the live streams, I will then start working on the recap. So, of course, if you are interested in hearing my recap, hearing my analysis, and you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so that you know when my content goes up. So, on that note, thank you for listening. Now, please do hit that like button. That helps me get my videos out into the algorithm. And right now, that is something that I really need some help with. Apparently, YouTube doesn't like my channel at the moment. So please hit that like button, and also please leave a comment below. There are 2 ways that you can help me for free with my channel, which will get my videos out there in the algorithm, hopefully get me those views that just aren't happening right now, and allow me to be able to continue this channel. So on that note, thank you, and I will catch you in the next one.